Hi guys, in the previous video we discussed about how to create the Spring Boot application. So this is the second video in the Spring Boot CRUD operation tutorial. In this video we are going to discuss how to connect the database from the Spring Boot application. Okay, so while we are running the Spring Boot application, we are receiving this exception like application fails to start. What is the root cause for this? Failed to configure a database source URL attribute is not specified and no embedded data source could be configured. So that means we didn't configure any database related information. So that's why we are facing this error message. Okay. So what is the solution for the so in the Eclipse itself it is showing the solution to us. Consider the following. If you want an embedded database, H2 HQL or DB, please put it on class path. Like we have the some embedded databases also, those are going to provide the Spring Boot. So those are like in-memory databases. So it physically it won't be exist whenever the application is started, the database will be created. Whenever the application stops, the memory will be closed. So in-memory databases, but in practically no one will use the in-memory database only for the testing purpose only. Okay, so now I decided to use the PostgreSQL as a my server, database server. For the purpose, you need to do first set up the PostgreSQL in your system. Okay, just install the PostgreSQL server, any version. Okay, I installed in my system PostgreSQL as a 13 version. Okay, this is the pgadmin4. Pgadmin4 is the tool which is used to connect the database. Okay, so this is the server. So I connected my database server by using the pgadmin4 tool. Okay, once you right click and click the properties, you will find my connection details. These are the my connection details. This is a host and this is the port 5433. So once you install this PostgreSQL 13, it is like you can download from the internet and you can install set up in your PC. Once you set up your PC, it will ask the some permissions to install the application. Once you done, so it will give the one port. Okay, the default port is 5432. If you want, you can change the port. I changed the port to 5432. Okay, this is the it is running under my system. Okay, that's why I'm giving as a local host. Okay, so this is the Postgres server. Okay, now we need to create one database here. Okay, to create the database, just right click this one and create database. Okay, here we need to create test to give the database name. Okay, I gave the database name. So my database is created. Okay, now I have the Postgres server which is running on my in my PC, and I have the pgadmin4 tool. So by using this pgadmin4 tool, I am able to connect my database server, and after that I created the two database. One is the test and second one is the test2. So we need to connect this database from the Spring Boot applications. To connect this Spring database from the Spring Boot application, we need to configure the four properties. Those are Spring Boot data source driver class name. So this is the first property we need to configure. Spring Boot data source driver class. What is the purpose of this driver class? Actually, friends, if you are using Postgres server, you are going to use the org PostgreSQL driver. If you are using Oracle, you need to use the Oracle driver. If you are using MySQL, the driver will be changed. So the drivers are specific to database. If it is Postgres, one driver. If it is Oracle, another driver. Like that we need to mention. Okay, next one is the data source URL. URL means JDBC. We are using Postgres SQL. So JDBC Postgres SQL up to now it is common. We need to keep the IP address. So IP means the server which is running on the any mission. Like so in for test purpose, I install the Postgres SQL in my server. That's why I'm giving IP as a local host. the local host which represents my local IP, right? After application running port. So what is the port is running? It is running on the 5433. And next one is the database name. So here we have the two databases. One is the test, another one is the test2, right? So I want to connect the test1 database. That's why I keep the database name 1. Okay. After username and password. Username and password. Okay. Username and password. Okay. After, okay. So now we need to configure these four properties in the Spring Boot application. If you go to the Spring Boot application, we have the resource section. In this resource section, you will find the application.properties file. In this application.properties file, you need to paste these four properties. That's it, guys. You don't need to do anything. You just need to configure the four properties in the application.properties file, which exist in the resource folder. Okay, in Spring Boot application, you will find the resource. On that resource, you will find the application.properties. On that application.properties file, you need to configure these four properties. Well, after configuring these four properties, okay, let me try to run the application. We'll see. You can see application start running. So Spring logo, banner printed. Then it is connecting the database. Okay, okay. Now we are able to see the logs. See, at the end, you can see the Tomcat started on the port 8080 and how much time this application consume to run it. So it's take 10.91 milliseconds. Sir, I have a doubt here. How can I say this is application is running connected to the database server? Guys, you can see here Hikari database. Okay, this is the database connection. It is able to start it and it is able to complete it. That means it is connecting to the database. Okay, so what is the database we are using to connect here? Database is the PostgreSQL server, and that we have the one database name. This is the test. So now we have one more database also, that is test2. Let me try to connect with to test2. Okay, now I'm changing the database name to test2. Now I'm going to stop the application. Okay, I stop the application. Now I'm going to start it again. So now my application got started. See, now I'm able to connect the database 2 also. Okay, let me try in the some negative cases. Okay, I will keep database name is 3. So you can see 3 is not available here. We didn't find test3 in the PostgreSQL 13 server. Okay, so let me try to run the application. We can see, yeah, it is taking some time. So just okay, now it started running. See guys, now we are able to find the some error message. What is that? You can see, clearly it's saying database 3 does not exist, right? That means we can assume, right? So it is connecting the database. Okay, so if you want to change the port, you can change the port and test it. Like my server is running on the 5433, but I changed it to 5435. we can see what is the exception it will throw if you try to run the application. You can see we received an exception. Connection localhost to 54 is refused. Why? Because so we did the application is running on the 5433, but we keep as 5435. So that's why we're able to see connection host refused exception. Connection host refused exception. So this is the way, guys. So this is the way we are going to connect the database by using the Spring Boot application. But we are not doing anything here. How the application is going to connect the database? Who is going to take care of the connecting the database? As here in the builder Gradle, we added the one dependency, right? We added the one dependency, Spring Data JPA. The Spring Data JPA taking care the responsibility of the connecting database. Okay, initial version Spring. The Spring, you need to do the manual configurations, how to connect the database on I mean, you need to create each and every step. But in case of the Spring Boot application, you no need to do anything. You just add the Data JPA dependency, and after adding Spring Data JPA dependency, you just configure these four properties into the application.properties file. Once you configure these four properties in application.properties file, it will taken care of the connection the database. Okay, I hope you guys are clear about how to connect the database. In the next video we are going to start with how to create a post API. Okay, okay guys, so that's all for now. Thank you for watching.